Today, a young man named Caleb came to visit me for the fourth time. Typically, after Caleb visits, something happens in a way that is improper in terms of procedure, but immoral in terms of the life of the Lord. He is a man who is professing to be someone who's an evangelical Christian. He came back today while I was busy sitting, just resting my heart on the sidewalk outside of stores where I had spent my days shopping, as anyone would on a Saturday. And he wanted to do more for me, he said. He offered me a Wendy's gift card, and I said, well, I typically can buy my Wendy's, so I'd rather you not do that. But it's the same value that you might put on a video or a food card, me, I would really appreciate a pair of socks. Now, I had bought some socks down the way at the Ross store that were not exactly quite right for me. So what I decided to do was to give him those socks, those beautiful cotton socks with different flecks in them, and he accepted them willingly. In exchange for that, he went off, I believe, to Walmart and bought me some warmer socks, or so they alleged, because they had apparently some wool in them. Now, they were not the socks I was after, but that doesn't mean the socks that I was after were still available at this time of year when they should be in the store in which I sent him to. One of my challenges to get the things I need for my work, for my business, for my career, for my life is not being able to get to the facilities I'd like to, because the non-handicap accessible roads in the community make it incredibly perilous for someone who has a rollator or someone who has a push cart like me. You see, a man like me that has a bit of a heart condition can go a little bit, and then he pauses, and then he goes a little bit further, and then he pauses. But how I manage my heart condition is my full-on responsibility, never yours. The challenge is that Caleb is always a man who wants to make it sound like he is doing more for someone than he is. I spent a little bit of time talking with him after he came back, but I gifted him also a nice little notebook of which he could take information, take down addresses, and take down things he might learn about when he goes off to some of the conferences at which he alleged he's going to go speak at, presuming that they choose his paper, they choose his presentation to come to their events. He was kind of grateful for that notebook because he didn't want to use it in the way of a tear-off sheet to give me some information about him, and I appreciated that. But the truth is, when someone does something kind, I always feel it's appropriate to thank them for their kindness. But as a part of the play yesterday, Caleb knew that my list for things that I was trying to accomplish he had had for about a week. When he came back yesterday to tell me he was planning to help me further, I was sort of surprised, because at the end of the time, as he often reacts when the relief of the Lord is present for him, he said, well, I won't be back for another 3 to 4 weeks. We had that discussion during that meeting of, look, I could accomplish these things if I had the right technology tools, the right telephony, and it wouldn't take me more than 5 to 20 minutes to accomplish them. In his mind, he thought he'd take his sweet time on some of the things that were quite simple for anyone with the telephony to handle, but difficult for someone who's being hacked and interfered with to accomplish.